Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again with another Ben 10 Ultimate Alien reaction. This is Season 1, Episode 8 of the show, and once again, as always, I do not know the title until I get into the episode. Now, last week's episode was interesting because it started off with the weasel. Well, let's be honest, the fucking weasel, because he is a weasel. He shows up at the very beginning, whistling, walking up to the castle, and then, of course, it's the Forever Knights. And it gets torn down because they basically don't take him seriously because he's saying, I'm offering a service, a protection of this castle for $100,000. And then we then see Forever Knights working for him and stealing burritos and pizza and all this kind of stuff. And he's wearing this like king wardrobe and stuff. And he found one of the aliens, it's Andreas, found him some time ago. And of course, this is one of the aliens that Agrigor had taken and everything. And it kind of turned its direction in terms of what the episode was about, because Andreas, he thought, Argent was his friend, right? And so he was doing all this, and then he sacrificed himself. Well, he didn't die. Thankfully, he didn't die, but he was willing and did attempt to sacrifice himself to withhold the blast that Forever Knight who showed up later on, who was trying to take back, whatever, the castle, whatever, and he had some sort of detonation thing from this weapon. And Argent would not do this, no. But Andreas grabbed it and then was like, shaking and everything. Of course, he's the one who has like those like earthquake type abilities. And then he went underground. And then of course, Agrigor, I knew was gonna find him. Like I just felt like, they're gonna have Agrigor show up again. He's always showing up at the end of episodes, and now he's recaptured 4 of the 5 aliens. So maybe we'll meet the final one soon, because we're literally back to back at this point. I'm assuming we'll meet the final one here, which is like this blue kind of interesting designed alien. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, guys, I'm excited to jump into the episode regardless of what happens. Let's jump in, guys. Let's see what happens. Let's go. Wake up.
I'm not asleep.
You were.
Well, you should be.
I'm dropping you off, and I'm going home to my bed. But there's probably aliens out there.
He's been having nightmares.
Gwen!
Get some sleep, Ben.
Lock the door behind you. Yeah, I was right. I was like, is it that alien?
Direct approach.
Like what? Ooh. Jesus. Shit. Does this alien think that Ben is working with Agrigor? What is your base? We're back here? Why?
Welcome to Los Soledad, abandoned top
Wow.
secret research lab and gateway to nowhere.
You're the one who helped Agrigor recapture my friend.
I was right. I was right. Let's pause. Hold on a second. I was right. I was like, I bet he's thinking that Ben is working with Agrigor, because he probably found out that Agrigor is recapturing, as he just now said. We're going to go back a little bit, but still interesting. Like, I was thinking, like, okay, maybe he's confusing, because then again, when we saw, I forget his name, I think they said his name, A something, but the turtle alien, he was pretending to destroy the town or whatever to get Ben's attention. And then, of course, he had, like, an issue with, like, speaking to him. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's something, like, maybe similar to that. No, he thinks he's working for. Okay, interesting, okay.
Whoa, calm down,
Yeah, I
Sparky.
guess all of them.
My name is Rad.
Okay,
Rad.
fine.
You led Agrigor right to them.
No, we didn't.
And the
No, we
plumber's
didn't.
sad fate is also on your hands. And you're wondering, Kevin Levin, if Agrigor is an Osmosian, also just like you. Like all Osmosians, Agrigor can absorb matter, energy, or the powers of
Oh, yeah,
any
we've seen
living
that, so,
creature.
yeah.
All right, mind reader.
He will absorb my powers, and those of the other 4 prisoners will make him the most powerful being in this galaxy.
And you are trusting him, why?
Exactly.
Because he knows how Agrigor operates.
I knew it.
Uncatalogued DNA detected.
Now it is, when he was fighting earlier, I don't know. Holy crap.
And I think you messed up your watch.
Shit. I knew it. I was like, okay, let's go. Let's go.
Oh, yes, they can. I have come for Rad.
He's gone. Who?
Do you know anybody named Rad?
No.
No.
Doesn't ring a
I don't
bell.
either. Even though I'm not a part of this conversation.
This will refresh your memory.
Yeah, exactly.
Anytime you want to jump in.
Stay put.
Just keeps hitting it.
You're out of your depth, hatchling.
Hatchling?
You don't scare me.
Well, that was stupid to run right at him. Jesus. Oh, that is crazy. Amphibian? Is that what he said?
Actually, now that you've become an Ampiri, I can use you to complete my collection.
That was new. That was pretty fucking cool. Go, Quinn. Oh.
And when he does, you had better be ready.
What do you mean, you?
I'm pretty sure what that meant just now, that little back and forth, that Rad's in the Omnitrix, I think.
Lock on to Ben Tennyson's
Lock on to
Omnitrix. Find Ben Tennyson.
Maybe he can't find him because Rad's taking control or something?
Let's get the Ultimatrix up and running again.
No, let's not. As long as the device is offline, Agrigor can't track my whereabouts.
I mean, that's...
Better come up with a new plan.
He's not kidding.
He's in
I
there.
can sense Rad's essence inside of him. Cause that worked out so well last time.
Yeah, we busted the Omnitrix and turned you into a freak. Have you looked in the mirror
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't touch the Ultimatrix.
Let him go!
Damn. There you go. Smart, smart.
It's mine.
No.
Okay, good point. But I'm using it now.
If we don't get him back in his body fast, Rad will take over.
Yeah.
And we'll lose Ben forever. How much longer?
Probably not the smartest idea since he's rebooting and messing with this thing again, but...
Faster. I gotta get out of this body.
Go!
Come on. Ooh.
No. Told ya.
System restart
Nice.
in progress.
I can feel it. Then we don't have any choice but to fight him together.
I'm here. Damn. Jesus. Rainstorm.
Find the challenging and intellectually superior foe.
He's prepared for anything, it seems.
I couldn't agree more.
Why are you still here?
Yeah, exactly.
To watch? I don't need to read minds to know what you think. I used to be just like you. So go.
Jesus. That's fucked up, man. Damn.
This is the device that controls your transformations.
You're killing him!
Not
He doesn't care.
completely done with him.
There is no escape from Agrigor.
No, there's not. Damn.
Could not let your friend needlessly sacrifice himself.
Seems like you can't stop this guy. Damn. Oh, shit.
What happened to Rad?
Agrigor
Probably
got him,
taken.
like
Yeah.
he said he would.
He gave himself up for me? The Ultimatrix has scanned all 5 of the aliens, and I'm going to use their powers to save them.
There you have it, guys, and I was correct. This was about the final alien that Agrigor was still trying to get, which was Rad, that blue alien, which is a really cool design, by the way. And I wasn't expecting him to show up right away and start fighting Ben, but then I predicted and said during the reaction that I wonder if he thinks that Ben and Agrigor are working together to recapture the other aliens, and I was 100% correct. Usually I'm not correct on these things. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong on my predictions. I'm glad that I was actually right on this one. It was kind of cool. But one thing to note before we jump to the rest of the episode, in terms of the opening, it's barely Ben and Kevin and Gwen, but specifically Ben is just going out and just doing whatever essentially that's, that can be done out there at night and pulling all-nighters or whatever, and Ben's exhausted. And Gwen says that Ben is having nightmares. And that just kind of goes away, right? It's not mentioned again in the episode, but Gwen mentioned, and so I'm thinking, what exactly is Ben having nightmares about? Is it because of something that's happened previously, or is it just nightmares in general? Like, normally you have nightmares if it's reoccurring, like the way Gwen was suggesting, that something's going on with Ben. But it's not mentioned again. But I'm hoping that maybe is planting a seed for something later, to where we're going to address this later, or maybe it's just a throwaway line to explain why Ben's just kind of pulling all-nighters and just going out and fighting whoever's out there in terms of, needing to be saved and all that, and fighting bad guys. I don't know. Don't know. But I thought interesting. I was expecting it to be brought up again, but they did not bring it up again. But, so, Ben, Kevin, and Gwen finally come face-to-face with Agrigor. Twice in this episode. And I will have to say, I think they did a pretty good job of showcasing how powerful he is before his plan is even close to fruition, which now his plan makes sense. Because I think I'd mentioned previously in a review or some discussion at some point during one of the older videos, why specifically are these 5 aliens being selected by Agrigor to be imprisoned, and why does he need them, and all that. And now it kind of makes sense, because once he combines all their powers, because he has the ability to absorb their powers, as we've seen with the episode when he was when we got the flashback and everything of when he showed up on that planet and was absorbing one of those aliens, like turtle aliens, like powers, and the way he his soul and everything, and his life was basically pulled from him. Agrigor was using his abilities, that he could use those abilities to some extent. So, combining all 5 of them, which all 5 have been unidentified alien DNA, so they are not within, it seems, the solar system, or at least nearby to where Azimuth has pulled from to have a part of the Omnitrix, or in this case, Ultimatrix DNA sequencing. So they are brand new aliens to Ben, and I assume, presumably, Azimuth doesn't have their, because the Omnitrix, Ultimatrix now, I'm assuming the Omnitrix would have the same thing, doesn't detect the alien, DNA. So it has to scan them. So, all 5 of them, and combining all 5, he'll be the strongest being in the galaxy, or within this galaxy, he'll be the strongest being, because all the different abilities combined into one. That's why he has all 5 selected. And if you really think about their different abilities, yes, like, he would be extremely powerful. He already is now, because he literally didn't really get hurt that much within the episode. He literally was taking most hits, and they were pretty much nothing. Or if it knocked him down, he's up pretty fast. So he's already a strong individual. And also his little interaction with Kevin, because they both have pretty much the same abilities, and they had mentioned how Kevin is an osmosis or whatever like him, and Agrigor called Kevin a hatchling, pretty much saying, you don't know what you're toying with, you're just a child. Like, I like the way he worded hatchling. So that was interesting. So the fighting sequences were really good. We also got to see Gwen use a teleportation spell, which was really cool visually, because it was these gigantic purple winds. And at first I'm like, wait, why did Rad, who's in Ben's body, which we'll talk about that in a second, disappear? And then all of a sudden you see her disappear, and you see Kevin, or whatever order it went in, but I know Ben disappeared first, and Rad's body, they disappeared first, before it was kind of revealed that they all knew what was happening. But the teleportation spell, and it really took Gwen out for a bit. So it's good to note, at least right now, Gwen is at that stage to where she can use that new ability, which was like pretty cool to use, a teleportation, to get away. I'm not sure how far where they were sent to from where they were on that base. By the way, that was cool to see the army base again. It's been a bit since we've been there, but from there to there, that's pretty big distance. So it took her out for a bit. She had to relax, and was trying to relax before the chaos was breaking loose and everything, and she had to really help. But it showed that she's not just, okay, teleportation spell, okay, let's go. Like, she literally has to like take a breather and kind of try to, you know, not move and try to sleep or whatever. Like she needs relaxation because it took a lot of energy out of her. So there is limitations to her. Now we know that if she was full on, you know, her alien side, maybe not so much, there wouldn't be limitations, but in this case she decided to stay in her human form and not go the route of what her grandmother wanted her to do. So she has to deal with this now. So that was interesting. So Rad. So the opening with him fighting Ben was interesting. It was pretty cool. When he turned into Jet, and then he gets slammed through the wall. And where are Ben's parents? I guess it's fine, whatever. We don't need to worry about them. But like they destroyed a lot of shit in that neighborhood, including Ben's house. So that was pretty interesting. But it's like whatever. We had to move on. But seeing Rad's abilities was really cool because when you see as he becomes amphibian, whenever Ben turns into Rad's alien, like I'm trying to remember. I think in the flashback episode we did see some electricity abilities, but you would think with his like design and color and everything, you would think he's going to be a water base, but we already have that with a character, so it makes sense. It's electricity. It's kind of a switch, but it's kind of a change. And I like the fact that Rad has the ability with electromagnetic, whatever, he can actually kind of read minds. He read Kevin's mind, and then he assumed Ben and Gwen were thinking the same thing, because when he was captured and explained what Aragorn's plan is, he's like, well, I read your mind. He's like, well, I accept your offer. Let's work together. Then he, like, holding them all in place, electricity and stuff, saying, you know, you were going to turn me in if needed be. And then Gwen and Ben are like, we would not do that. Kevin's like, I would feel really bad about it. It's like, Kevin, if you weren't having those thoughts, then I don't think this turning point would have happened. But then, of course, Aragorn shows up, right? So, you know, it wasn't going to work out. Now, with having Rad within the Omnitrix, well, I keep saying that, the Ultimatrix. Sorry, guys. The Omnitrix was around for so damn long. It's still kind of weird to say Ultimatrix. But having Rad actually go into the Ultimatrix reminds me of the whole thing with all Ghost Freak and everything, where he was in the Omnitrix and then he broke out and all that kind of stuff. And then they brought him back in and everything. It was like a whole back and forth for that storyline and everything. The idea of like an alien in the Omnitrix wanting to break out. So I like the fact that in this case, Rad goes to attack Ben, and Ben's Ultimatrix. Now, even though the first time they met, it didn't go off. Like, it allowed Ben to use Jet Ray and fight him. I think it was story purpose, because if we just had it to where Ben's in his room and all of a sudden here comes Rad, and then his Ultimatrix, once again, Ultimatrix is not working because it needs to scan his DNA, he probably would have died, right? Because I think Rad was there to kill him or whatever. So in this instance, we had to just bypass this moment of where it would need DNA, unrecognized DNA. We cannot operate until we scan it, which is like a ridiculous little thing, but whatever. I think that could be just an option to do. They had to have that fight at the beginning. So now, as the powers, because Rad's shooting his blast and Ultimatrix is shooting the scan for the DNA, the explosion, and now Rad is in Ben's body. So now it's just Rad with the Omnitrix logo and all that, Ultimatrix logo, whatever. And it was pretty interesting because now they're within the same body, and he's hearing the voice, and the voice is switching to, because we have Amphibian when Ben turns into him, which, by the way, the human, like, part of it at one point when he's turning into everything and the colors or whatever, and it's creepy, but it's pretty cool at the same time. But you can hear a difference in the voice of the Amphibian and Rad, so that was kind of cool to hear the difference there. And then having Agrigor assume, well, I really don't need Rad now, because if you can turn into the alien that I don't even need him anymore. Like, oh shit. Like, I was thinking that was going to happen, right? I was thinking like Ben was going to be captured as Amphibian, Rad, or whatever, and then that was going to be the end of the episode. But like, that'd been a really cool cliffhanger thing, but they didn't do that. They didn't do it. But it would have been interesting, right? Would have been kind of interesting to see. Instead of having taken Rad, like Rad is actually within the body of Ben because they're sharing the same body or whatever. But then they had to reveal that the longer Rad is in control of the body and not letting Ben try to transform out or whatever, or just stop being turned into Amphibian, that Rad would have taken over the body and Ben would have been lost. So they had to reboot, which I'm thinking, okay, we did this before in Alien Force, and the whole thing with Azimuth was very disappointing in Ben. There was a whole rift there between Ben and Azimuth because they decided to fuck with the Omnitrix and the explosion. We knew what happened to Kevin. They even addressed that but we have to reboot the Ultimatrix. We have to get him out because we will take our chances. But right now, because Rad's whole thing was like, well, I'm within your body. I'll take control of the Ultimatrix, but as long as it's not being operated and it's not in use, then Ben, you cannot be tracked, which is okay. That's a good thing. But at the same time, you kind of need the Ultimatrix. You kind of need it to work. I mean, if Agragor does somehow find another way to locate them, right? You kind of need the Ultimatrix in play to have a chance. And even though it kind of was showing that Ben doesn't really have a chance, but now Ben has a plan at the end. He was like saying, well, I absorbed all 5 aliens so I can use their powers to help save them from Agragor. But I don't know. I think Ben might, Ben is, the thing is, what I like about it is that we've had a lot of villains throughout the history of the Ben 10 franchise. Because can't say show because we've had multiple shows now. We've had Classic, we've had Alien Force, now we've Ultimate Alien. There's been a lot of villains, and there are like certain things that they have the advantage of, but ultimately there is a pretty clear-cut way to defeat them, or it's like just strategize. I'm thinking with this, it's going to be a strategy. I just don't know what the fuck strategy they're going to use to take out Agragor, right? As he is now, or when he literally absorbs all their abilities, because I'm assuming since they mentioned that, we're going to see that, because it was mentioned. You know what I'm saying? Like, you mention he's going to absorb all 5 of their abilities and become the strongest individual, strongest alien, whatever, in the galaxy. Now that you've mentioned that in the show, it's going to be, we're going to see that. We're going to see it unfold. So, how are they going to defeat him? What's the goal? And what is Agragor's real goal here exactly? Is his whole goal just to take over the whole fucking galaxy and just be the strongest one? I guess that's what his goal is. But is he going to just take over planets? Like, what is he trying to do? We don't know. We don't know. But I thought was overall interesting. I think Rad as a character is definitely interesting because it kind of goes again to the point, as I've kind of mentioning. I wish I would have mentioned this sooner in the review, because I know a lot of people kind of tune out after a little bit into the review, which is, it is what it is. But I still do this for the people that want to listen to me really discuss these episodes. But what I wanted to say earlier, and I'm thinking more about it, is that once again, this is showing that the 5 different aliens that Agragor has taken, they're not all just good individuals. Now, Rad is not a bad individual, I would say. He's just like, I think Ben, at first, like, Ben, you were working with Agragor. You were helping him recapture all of us and my friends, and you were, it's like, no, we did not. Like, well, yeah, you did. He was tracking the Omnitrix, he found them, and he's taken all of them back again. And he's trying to defend himself. He's trying to get away from Agragor. He's trying to find a way to hide from Agragor. So he's doing whatever needs to be done. And unfortunately, he's making decisions throughout the episode that isn't the best for us in terms of viewers who love the trio, who are trying to help him, who are actually trying to help him and trying to stop Agragor. It doesn't matter. And we've seen, of course, the other aliens where they have a variety of personas and a variety of, differences of how they're viewing this whole situation. So it was interesting to see Rad's point of view and how he was assuming that Ben was working with Agragor, because that's something, it's like, is that what he's doing? And I was right. That's what he was thinking. So overall, I had a good time with the episode. It was great to see Agragor actually go up against them. They unfortunately lost and everything, and Brainstorm really didn't work out or whatever, and because Agragor's like staff or whatever specifically against his abilities or whatever, I feel like Ben could maybe thought smarter on that. But then again, Agragor's like pretty much proven he can take on pretty much anything, it seems. So I don't know what's Ben's gonna do. Ben's mad though. Ben is angry. Right? That explosion at the end was kind of crazy as well, because I mean, Rad sacrificed himself for them not to, be sacrificed for him. Pretty intense stuff. But what do you guys think of the episode, guys? I'm curious to know your thoughts. I really enjoyed this episode overall. It was really damn interesting, and I can't wait to see what happens next. I hope you guys enjoy the reaction. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.